I don't know if this is actually possible, but when I die, I don't want the lame ass shit of being buried. I want to be cremated, and then I want my ashes to be infused with metal, and then I want to be forged into a sword. Just like a cool, dope ass knight longsword. And then I want it passed on as a family heirloom for generations. That's like the coolest idea I think I've ever come up with. I don't know if this is actually possible, but when I die, I don't want the lame ass shit of being buried. I want to be cremated, and then I want my ashes to be infused with metal, and then I want to be forged into a sword.
Tell me you would eat a mite without telling me you would eat a mite. No, but Shalom, we're going to start this off by giving honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Wahara Kakwadash. Double honor, salutations, peace, and blessings to you, like individuals, starting with the elder apostles and elder bishops of the great millstone church, on down to the rest of you brothers and the brothers that I labor with, who all push forth the will and doctrine of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. To all of you, I say Shalom. I came across this video, and it was just funny, it made me laugh. Just because, exactly like what I said, like, tell me you Edomite without telling me you Edomite, like, just like completely the epitome of like Esau's spirit, and as I'm sitting here just laughing, thinking, a whole bunch of scriptures just came to mind, really just like, and seeing the spirit that this Edomite in, like it's clear that this is an Edomite, right? How you know that to be the case is by understanding who Esau is, and for those of you that don't know, right, the people that the world ignorantly calls so-called white people are actually, from a biblical standpoint, which is how everything is meant to be established, they are the Edomites according to the Bible, right? The Hebrew Edomites, if you will. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? Starting with your father, through the man's seed, you are the Hebrew Israelites, right? And that go for any nation, whatever the pedigree of your father is, right? That is who and what you are, simply put. But all throughout the scriptures, you have certain things or characteristics that you will see being played out through Esau, Edom. And when you look at all the people upon the face of the earth, no other people fit the bill of Esau, Edom, like these so-called white people. You say so-called white because he's actually not white. You can see whatever it is that's behind him, whether it be a mirror picture or whatever it is that's behind him, behind his neck, that's white. Obviously, he's not white, When you look at so-called white people, they're actually just another, what's the word? A different pigment of red, You look at when they're born, you see how red they are. When they out in the sun, you see how red they are, right? Why they're known to have the nickname, if you will, redneck. That's something that's put on so-called white people. But really, according to the Bible, right, they are Esau, Edom. But I just want to grab a few scriptures just to tie into certain things he is saying, being in the spirit that he in. And, it just shows again him to be Esau, Edom. And it was just funny because it's like this, knowing the true wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, knowing his word, seeing this, you able to see clearly like this is an Edomite, And it ain't specifically about his skin tone, right? Because you got, you got those of our people of our nation that may look like Esau Edom, but through the Spirit, right? Through the Spirit bearing witness, you will be able to know. You will be able to see the difference and know the difference. So simply put, I'm gonna start here, right? This is Psalms 17 and verse 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." Right? Now, to help understand who the wicked is, right? Because this is showing you that the Lord uses the wicked as a sword, as his sword, right? A tool, if you will, or a killing instrument, Actually, I'll grab it here in this one. You go to Job 9 and 24, and this one, most brothers know. It says, right, Job 9 and verse 24 says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" You see? So the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. When you look at the specific set of people that control the mass population of the earth, right? Who makes the engine go in regards to how the system works and how everything operates, right? When you look at the number one power that has the most control, if not all of the control upon the face of the earth, right? Starting with the elite banking families, right? Is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, or to say that the so-called white man who is Esau Edom, right? When you look at the central banking families, the elite banking families, and you see the things that they've had their hands tied into, it's a slew of wickedness, You understand all of the different world wars, right? Those world wars were funded by who? The elite banking families. Again, so-called white people. But that go on to show you, again here, right? If these are the people who have the earth in their hands, that's the wicked, right? And him covering the faces of the judges thereof is him covering the faces of who's truly supposed to be ruling over the earth, right? And that being the Israelites. But nonetheless, not the point. Simply here, this is how you are able to see who the wicked is. So with the wicked being those that have the power over the earth, right? You can see here in Psalms 17 and 13, right? That wicked, which is the Lord's sword, the correlation there is to show you, right? These people are a tool of the Lord's, right? And he's so much in that spirit, he talk about looking to make himself a sword, But little does he know, and little does most people know, he is a sword. Him just being in that spirit already like adds to it. You look at the things that Esau get into, and really slack. That'll take me to my next verse. Before I get here, this in the Psalms 49, because it's good too. I'm gonna grab this real fast. This is Genesis 27 and the point is in verse 40. But this is going back towards the time of when Jacob and Esau, which are twin brothers, right? Jacob is our forefather, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? He is our forefather, who we come from. He's our progenitor, right? While you have the twin brother of Jacob being Esau, the progenitor of the so-called white race. This is the moment where, Esau is now pleading with his father Isaac to be able to get a blessing for himself, right? Because the Lord had it happen in a certain way to where Jacob got the first blessing rather than Esau. And they got two completely different blessings. So we're gonna read this, and it's gonna show you what the blessing was given, what blessing was given to Esau, right? So I'm gonna start at verse 38 real quick just to read through. It says, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept." You see? It says, "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above." Right? Verse 40, again, is the point. It says, "And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." You see? So that beginning part being the point where it says, "And by that sword shalt thou live." Right? This is a part of his blessing. When you look at Esau and how he lives and how he operates, that's the main thing he cleaved to. He cleaved to the sword. Again, the sword being a killing instrument, right? What would you say a modern day sword would be, right? A modern day killing instrument be one that you see that everybody got their hands on, mainly because this man has constantly promoted it. A gun, right? Still a sword nonetheless, but just to help understand, this being that sword, right? They love and they quick to use it, But nonetheless, you had this Edomite in this video who went on to mention he want to be made a sword, right? He want to be made a sword so that way it can be passed down in his family for generations. Little do he know, he the end of his generation. There's no more generation of Esau. We coming to the end, so that's like a pipe dream, that he has, right? And that's how every Edomite thinks, which would now take me back to that Psalms 49. Because this is, again, how they operate. This is Psalms 49:11. It says, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever." You see? And the house starts with the man first. When the Lord says, "Set that house in order," right? Or not even just that. You have it in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, right? When it talk about your temple, right? Your temple being like a house, but it's talking about your body. A house is synonymous with a few different things, right? House could be your specific body, could be your lineage, and that's what you're seeing in this case here, right? Their houses shall continue forever. Their lineages, right? This also being their rulership. You look at this system, the world we live in, and how it operates. Esau is constantly just building, and it's crazy because in like the past year or two, it's like out here, all you see is them constantly building more and more, living establishments, businesses. Corporate buildings. This is it's constant. It's like never ending. It's like one day you see one spot being built, the next day you see another spot being built, and they just constantly keep building. Esau building all of these things, right? Just for it to all come down at the end of the day. There's no getting around it. So, and I'm gonna grab that real quick in Obadiah. Or actually, before I grab an Obadiah, I'm going to grab this one in Malachi. Right? This is Malachi chapter 4. Malachi 1 and verse 4. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. You see? They thinking that they could be able to constantly keep building. That's exactly what they going on to do. You know? It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, which is what we're seeing, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord, right? And that Lord being all caps, being Yahweh, right? Yahweh Bashim Rashai, right? This all caps is being Yahweh, right? But Yahweh Shai being right along with them, you know, Yahweh Shai being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It says the people whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You see? So now jumping to that Obadiah 1. I'm going to jump around because I know there's a few verses I can get here. Let me see what point. Yeah, that's a good one too. Verse 18. Definitely want to get verse 18. But I'm going to read from verse 8. It says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men? Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, right? The height, the pinnacle, you know? It says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. You see? So you thinking you gonna be able to constantly keep building, but the Lord got slaughter written for you, you know? And it's because of all the wickednesses you've done upon the earth, right? You've been a tool that the Lord has used, but you forward the affliction, right? It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. You see? Esau has done so much wickedness towards the Lord's chosen people, being us, right? That's what thy brother Jacob means. Because you look at you look at all the things that Esau has done to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. He's destroyed our people so much to the point to where they gone spiritually and mentally. You know, they cleave on to them, not even knowing that this your enemy. But it says, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see? Beautiful. They shall be cut off forever. So he thinking that this shit gonna just be able to go for generation and generation, or maybe into a sword that I can give to my to my kids and their kids and their kids and their kids. Nah. Now the Lord got it written that you can be cut off forever. You see? There ain't no place of repentance given to Esau. Right? As it says in Hebrews 12 and 16. But it says, jumping down, I'm going to read verse 18. Right? It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them. You see? And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For the Lord Yahweh have spoken it. So it's clear, right? He thinking of this, you know. Again, this is how they operate, and they operate like this because they know that they have but a short time. These are the things that we rejoice in because we know the Lord is having these things manifest, right? And I'm gonna end it here. This is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down onto you. And that devil isn't Satan, right? You have Satan and you have the devil. The devil is the deceiver, and Esau is the number one deceiver. He's Satan's, you know, physical counterpart upon the earth, right? He's that main tool that gets used by Satan to bring forth wickedness, to bring forth deception, lies, right? It says, for the devil has come down onto you having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's why you see him scrambling, trying to keep building and try to put him, keep him in so-called good spirits, thinking that he gonna be able to, be like the Most High and try to override what the word say. But the word say what it say because it's the Most High's word, and His word doesn't go out void. So when He says that you're gonna be cut off forever, you're gonna be devoured, you're gonna be no more, right? That's what's gonna end up happening. So, just wanted to turn a funny video, if you will, through the spirit into something knowledgeable in regards to again knowing who it is that is the wicked and who is your enemy, and though he think and the rest of these Edomites think that they're gonna be able to continue living in their lasciviousness and living how they want to live, the Lord spoke against it, and the scriptures say, I'll end it here actually. They say what? 2 6 of verse 9. It says right here, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we have our world to come as this world falls. So this is what we gotta continue to put our faith in. Trust in the Lord. When He said that He gonna rise us up, He gonna take care of us. Right? So the Lord has been edifying with that. I'm gonna give honor, praise, and glory to the Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Wahweh Kakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.